Policymaking can be viewed as a cycle. So oftentimes it's sort of seen as a straight line with 5 stages. There's agenda setting. This is identifying the problem, figuring out sort of different ways to solve the problem and selecting the policy we want to actually make. And of course, making sure there's the political will to do this. So oftentimes agenda setting is grouped with this next stage, definition and framing. So once we've identified the problem and specified the different types of solutions and selected the one we want to go forward with, we define the problem and solution and frame them in a way to get sort of political will behind this. And because we're picking one solution out of potentially many, these stages often get combined because in selecting that solution, we're often selecting the one that we are able to frame most effectively. And in identifying the problem, we're also defining the problem in a way that gets political will behind it. Now, the next one is policy formation, sometimes called policy enactment. This is just, we've selected a policy we want to make, and now we're actually going to write the bill and make this happen and go through that lawmaking process that we've already studied. Then we implement the policy. That's where the bureaucracy comes in and actually makes this happen. So we've identified a problem, selected a solution, and framed it in a way that gets politicians behind it. We then have actually, so those 3 together are definition, our agenda setting and definition and framing. We've then formed the policy. We've made a law and we've enacted that law. And now the bureaucracy is enforcing that law, is implementing that law. But now we need to evaluate the law. Did it actually do what we wanted it to do? Did it solve the problem? If it didn't, we've definitely got to go back to the beginning and redefine that problem and find new alternatives and new solutions. What if it did solve the problem, but it created other problems in the process, right? Perhaps unintended consequences. Now we have new problems to define, a new agenda to set. So this is a cycle. So even though like on this slide, we see it as sort of stages in a row, it cycles, it loops. Policy isn't just beginning to end. It always ends up feeding back into itself. So this process is not sort of a one-time deal. It is a cycle that we keep going through.